What was in those texts that Ethan's mum sent to Trisha Paytas that made her lose her cool? I have the answers, and it's not pretty. Hello and welcome back to Drama Investigator. So as we all know, Trisha backstabbed her future brother-in-law and former co-host / business partner Ethan Klein by filming a podcast with his biggest enemy Keemstar. Everyone is so confused as to why she would do such a thing, like seriously, what the hell? But also some people aren't surprised because Trisha is well known for backstabbing her friends, like Shane and Ryland for example, who were friends with Jeffrey and weren't willing to end their friendship with him for her. As shitty of a person Shane Dawson is, people are now starting to see that this is a trend with Trisha, ditching people and befriending their enemies. So it turns out, after Trisha exposed that she was going to be on Keemstar's latest podcast, Ethan revealed that Gabby Hanna, who is Trisha's biggest enemy, was literally begging to come on his podcast after Ethan and Trisha ended their Frenemies podcast. After Ethan found out what Trisha had done, he tweeted out the following: Gabby Hanna messaged me immediately after Frenemies broke up trying to get on the podcast. I knew it would be an interesting show with lots of views to be had, but I didn't even respond to her and still haven't. Some things you just don't do. I would never do that to Trisha. Gabby responded angrily to Ethan stating, I didn't message immediately after Frenemies broke up. I messaged immediately after I put out the evidence of the lies you and Trisha spread on Frenemies. Still would like the opportunity to defend myself on the platform I was harassed and slapped on, please. After Trisha started getting backlash for collabing with Keemstar, she started defending herself on Twitter and TikTok. She was trying her hardest to make out like what she did wasn't even that bad and tried to expose Ethan and his family in the process. Now, need I remind everyone, Trisha is engaged to Ethan's brother-in-law, so her wedding in December is definitely going to be interesting considering everyone's accusing Trisha of breaking apart Ethan's family. Basically, Trisha went off on TikTok the other day about how she was disgusted with what Ethan's mum had texted her. After this TikTok, everyone started wondering what exactly was in that message that Ethan's mum sent Trisha. Now, it's not hard to figure out, or at least assume, what it was that Ethan's mum had said after Trisha explicitly described the text on TikTok.
What Ethan's mom texted Moses about me, putting this burden on me that if anything were to happen, it's on me, putting that is an evil monster shit. The fact that she even texted, I can't even speak it because the fact that she even texted it and put that in writing was so vile and disgusting.
Just by the way Trisha said, putting this burden on me that if anything were to happen, I have a strong feeling that that has something to do with Hila's pregnancy, because I can imagine that this would definitely be stressing Hila out at the moment. Moses, Trisha's fiance, is Hila's brother, so it would make sense as to why Ethan's mum would be sending that to him. However, I'm just assuming just by the words that Trisha used to describe the text and how upset Trisha was in that TikTok. Now, Trisha also took to TikTok again very recently to go off at Ethan.
As if Ethan is the best friend, so loyal. Thank you, Ethan. You only and harassed my sister off the internet, sent a lot of hate towards Moses, lied on my name, brought up my past when you have your own skeletons in your closet, then made me the title, Trisha Paytas versus Gabby Hanna, just a few days later, knowing that would trigger me, having your mother compare me to Gabby Hanna, bringing that up on the last episode of Frenemies, making sure that I heard that she compared me to Gabby Hanna, but said I wasn't as bad. So you guys talked about Gabby Hanna, said she was worse than me, but kind of the same, but worse than me. That's why you didn't have her on. Have her on. I was the one to always encourage. I said, you should have James Charles on. He said he would. I was like, let's have Jeff Wittig on. Nobody else wanted Jeff. Like, have those discussions. I had beef with Keem that I started. I had misspoke on FaZe. I go on there to clear my name. It's not even out. Not everything is a personal attack. If you truly find Gabby interesting and you think there's a discussion to be had and you can bring something out of her, by all means do it. I went on her podcast just a few months prior to Frenemies ending, trying to figure it out. Was it trolling? Why she hurt me? Why she lied about my sexual health? Like, I would encourage that. The same way I encouraged Jeff Wittig to come on. The same way I went on Tana's podcast knowing that she's friends with David. Like, I encourage that. Have her on. I did a video about Keem, about something that I thought was really inappropriate in his relationship, something that triggered me, that is a huge platform that I stand on. Young women being taken up by older guys. It got turned around and mocked on by you, Ethan, having people call in, pretending to be Keem's girlfriend, making a joke, making a mockery of it. Ethan's channel gets taken down, implied that Keem did it. I get scared. Keem reaches out to me, non-threatening. I was like, let me talk with this person so I don't get my channel strike. Keem did tell me he did not report Ethan. Because I'm my own person. When Shane and Ryland stayed friends with Jeffrey and platformed him on their podcast, was I hurt? Yeah. We're not a... They can be friends with whoever they want. My issue with Shane was when he said he didn't believe me, that he thought I was lying about Jeffrey, and then Rylan went on his podcast saying that he didn't know about my beef between me and Jeffrey when he did. Jeffrey was like kind of a bystander in the situation. My issue was my best friend of 10 years not trusting me. Everyone's saying Keemstar played me, also interviewed Gabby, Hanna. I knew they were friends. I said on the podcast that I feel like this could be an ambush. I thought he was going to bring her on the podcast while I was there. I was like, in that sense, him and Ethan, like I said it before, I'll say it again, are very similar. They have to ambush people to get the reaction, the trolling. Fine, whatever. Me being one-time friends with Ethan and Keem being current friends with Gabby has nothing to do with me and Keemstar and our personal issues. Reminding everyone once again that I met Ethan because he trashed me in a video about my looks, and I went on his podcast to confront him. This is why people shouldn't talk until they hear the podcast, because they sound absolutely stupid. I went on and shared my own R-word story that I've never shared with anyone else to drive a point across about it. I was super vulnerable. I was super embarrassed. Once it's out there, I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be judged forever for not saying something sooner, for not talking about it sooner, for doing it, for participating in it, for liking it. People are so mad about a podcast they haven't even heard. I went on there to talk about issues that are important to me, the things I care about. We talked about everyone. Yeah, did we talk about Ethan? We talked about Ethan. Did we talk about David? Yes. Did we talk about Mike? Yes. FaZe? Yes. Tfue. FaZe talked about all his scandals. Keemstar admitted to being in the wrong about mental health situations. I shared my own story of SATIRE, which I have never shared with anyone else, and it was super hard because that's not a setting that I was super comfortable in necessarily. People haven't watched it. They think I'm just going to go on there and I spoke with I held my own. I'm my own person. I have my own issues I can talk about. This is insane.
One of the main things people are pointing out, even though Trisha is constantly defending herself for going on Keem's podcast, is the fact that she will frenemies merch to the podcast. Like, hello, biggest two-faced person out. Keemstar recently exposed this clip from the podcast that is yet to be aired.
I guess everyone looks heavier on it. Maybe the way you sit. You lost weight?
He's had his little fat boy stages. I go through them too, but like, he's skinny right now.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I did keto for a while and lost it gradually, which was good. I'm glad I did that, but like recently I've just been like raging and just eating like once a day, and you know.
Because you're happier in a new relationship now.
Yes.
So,
it's right there. Look at it.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah. She's not a child. Look.
Oh my gosh.
That's she's a real person.
How did that get blown? Okay, anyways, first
There's
of all.
No chains on her. She's not handcuffed to the couch. She's chilling.
Hi, nice to meet you. No. First of all, how did that change in a week from I'm not posting or
So what are your thoughts on all this drama? Let me know in the comments.